Spoilers to follow. Equalizer 3 is dumb, fun, and unapologetically itself. This is a movie that doesn't take itself too seriously, and that might just be its saving grace. While it may not be a cinematic masterpiece in any means, it leans into its own brand of absurdity, and it's hard not to appreciate the small, quirky moments that make up the backbone of this action-packed ride. Denzel Washington's character, Robert McCall, getting his daily coffee fix and charmingly saying grazie is just one of those endearing quirks. The action scenes when they finally arrive are undeniably awesome. They deliver that adrenaline rush that fans of the genre crave. However, there is a catch. They are too few and far between. You're left craving more every time they conclude, which can be both frustrating and exhilarating. Equalizer 3 isn't aiming for critical acclaim, it's aiming to entertain. And in that regard, it succeeds. It progressively gets better as it unfolds, which is a welcome surprise. The villains are delightfully cartoonish, adding a layer of comic book style fun to the mix. I thought the main bad guy reminded me of Andy Muschietti, the director of The Flash, not saying he's actually a villain. Those are the writers of that movie. But seriously, I thought that, the villains in this are very generic. The plot, on the other hand, is unnecessarily convoluted. Dakota Fanning's character and the CIA subplot feel tacked on. It feels like she's just there to get nostalgia points for Men on Fire. And honestly, the entire CIA subplot in this could have been omitted entirely. You just don't need it. They could have removed every bit with Dakota Fanning and her superiors, and the movie wouldn't have changed at all. It would just be the same movie. It would have benefited from a more straightforward focus on McCall's exploits in Italy, taking out gangsters with style. And I just feel that, they didn't need any of that CIA stuff. Like, it's fine, I guess, to have it. People are going to be like, Dakota Fanning's in this, but it was just unneeded completely. Equalizer 3 has its moments where it feels like it's dragging its feet, particularly around the slow opening. I thought it opens cool, but it doesn't really give you any backstory into why Robert McCall's in Italy. It just expects you to follow it, and that's fine. It does find its groove, and it doesn't let go. It might not have the most brilliant opening or impeccable pacing, but it makes up for it with memorable kills and action scenes. Kudos to Robert Richardson, the director of photography, whose work shines behind the camera. The commitment of Antoine Fuqua and Denzel to this project's evident, even if it feels like the third remake of what is essentially a modern-day Death Wish series. Denzel is now just Charles Bronson taking on bad guys. Equalizer 3 takes the basic elements of the hero film and turns them into an enjoyable spectacle. It's a superhero movie for dads. It's also a film you can dive into without having seen any of the previous installments. I didn't even see the second one, but I was perfectly able to understand what's going on. And Denzel as McCall globetrots to eliminate various bad guys, and the formula still works. In the end, Equalizer 3 may be dumb, brainless, and far from perfect, but it is undeniably fun to watch. And I left, with a smile on my face. That's what you want when you go to a movie like this. With tighter pacing and more action, it could have been a knockout, but as it stands, it's a satisfying ride for those who just want to kick back and enjoy Denzel doing what he does best, being a one-man army.